everyone. Welcome again. And in this few videos, I would rather use the real mediums like paper and pencils, because I feel like a need to change from these digital surfaces, which make you kind of very, feeling very safe, and you kind of using too much the digital surfaces, you kind of really comfortable, too much comfortable actually, because you know that at any moment you can actually erase the layer, or do all kind of modification without problem. Meanwhile, when you sketch on the paper, you have to be much more attentive to what you do. You have to think, you have to kind of be very careful where you put the lines, how you put the strokes, not too strong, very light, and everything. So there's all kind of steps which normally in the digital you don't do it, because if the stroke is too, let's say you do the first sketching is too dark, you just put the opacity down and you have kind of very light sketch on which you can actually draw after much more elaborated lines. So that's for this reason I will kind of do few videos regarding different subject, in the kind of original way, using the real mediums and real paper as a surface. So here we go. So we'll start with the revision of the human proportions, not of course in details, because all the necessary informations you can get from my book, which you can purchase from my website, or you can of course purchase in the Montreal Fine Arts Library in Montreal. And for any commercial artist, that is encyclopedia of knowledge about drawing human form, perspective, and all kind of technical drawings and isometry, axonometry, everything is there for what the commercial artist should know before he offers any kind of services to anyone. So illustrators and storyboarders and so on and so on. Anyway, so I don't want to go through the details of exact details of the proportions you can find in my first videos, but here we'll just kind of review a little bit the basic proportions of human form. So in this video, we're going to talk only about frontal positions. Yes, so if you have models, posing in with the frontal body, at you. So in your direction. So let's go. So as you know already from my previous videos, in order to start drawing the proportions, you have to sketch kind of ellipse which resembles to that one. Yes. How to construct it, of course, I already explained it. I'm not going to repeat it here. In my book is very, in details, everything, how you create this kind of ellipse. And now, if you divide this vertically, this ellipse, if you divide it vertically, so that there's two major canons of proportion: the 7.5 heads created by Polyclet and 8 heads created by Lysippos. The 8 heads proportions was named idealistic proportions, but in our contemporary, world, they're not anymore idealistic proportions. They're kind of common proportions. If you look at the modern person, modern individual, you have part of those have 8 heads proportions, another part has 7.5, and they're in between, because the canons, as you know, are just constructed to help you to get the right proportions, but it doesn't mean they're perfectly the same as the person who is posing in front of you. So and this is of course from observation you find out, but if you want to kind of construct the human form from the imagination, yes, also, so the canons help, because you know that you need to have 4 heads to the half of the body, another head 4 heads to the heels line, bottom line, or if you're using the polyclad, it's 4 heads for the top of the head to the pubic line, and from the pubic line to the heels, you have 3 heads and a half. So, but anyway, how we compose the form? So if you have this ellipse already, now if you take it the width of it and you double it here on one side and on the other, on this horizontal line, perpendicularly place it to the vertical horizontal line. Yes. So you would have, if you prolong this line down, yes, from each side, you're going to have the exterior position of your shoulders. If you take the horizontal width of the ellipse and from the central line symmetrically, you put it here and you put on the other side. So you're going to have exact position, you know, the thoracic cage and the pelvis. So another divisions. Now, if you take vertically, you divide the head in 3, and the 1/3 approximately, you put it here. So that's the position of your top shoulders, the bones which actually you're going to have visible there. And if you connect these 2 points of the thoracic cage with the chin, you're going to obtain some kind of triangle. This triangle, when you're going to draw the neck after with vertical lines, you know that they stop the verticality of the neck stop here, and it gets to the middle. And then you have the bones here. Those are the muscles of the neck, of the shoulder, sorry, and connected to the neck. And you have the shoulders. You have the shoulders, yes, over there. Now, if we continue vertically to divide, yes, if we're going to continue divide vertically this figure. So 1 head, let's go 4 heads. Is another, second head is here. Third head is going to be approximately here, less or more. Yes, I am not looking vertically at this, so I might have a little bit not exactly these spaces, but anyway, 4 head is the half of the figure. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4 heads. Yeah. So as you have half of the figure, if you connect now this forms, and you're going to have kind of the base of the triangle with the line of the pubic, you have kind of rectangle. If you divide it in half approximately, so here you're going to have, of course, the thoracic cage line there, yeah, that's the space the thoracic cage takes. And if you divide approximately in half here, you're going to have approximately here the kind of, pelvis form, isn't it? With the kind of opening inside and so on. So you have half of the body so far. If you want to do another half, and if you're using the Lizipor proportions, 8 heads, what I actually suggest to my students, because for the beginners, it's easier to draw 8 heads proportions because it's easier for them to find the proportions of the entire figure. So you will measure from the top of the head, somewhere there, you go there, and you know that somewhere there, you have a base for the heels. Yeah. So now, let's say the model has the legs a little bit kind of spread. So you put one heel here, another heel you can put here. And if he's standing straight as a soldier, less or more, yes. So you just kind of connect with straight lines from the middle of this part, you see. Okay, straight lines to the heels. That's going to be the legs. Now, where is the position of the knees? If you divide this space in half, yeah, which is going to be approximately less or more here, yeah, okay. If I am not exact, I don't see it perpendicularly down, so I might miss something. But anyway, somewhere there is the middle line. So how big are the knees? If you take one circle circumscribed in the ellipse and another the same over there, so you have the size approximately of the knee. So now, that's the middle line, but it doesn't mean that the knee needs to be on the middle, because in realistic proportions, the 2/3 of the circle are up and 1/3 is down. So the same is going to be here, 2/3 up and 1/3 down from the middle line, so the 6th head. And now you can connect with conical forms for the tides to the knee, and from there up, you still have to draw the ankles. The ankles are going to be in the 7.5 head, so somewhere there. And now, two perfect circles, if you circumscribe in the knee, you're going to have approximately the ankle, yes, size, less or more, yes? So if you connect now conically to the ankles, yes, you have the legs. And now, of course, if you go with the foot, the inner part of the foot from the heel, a much more straight a line, yeah, much more straight a line, but the outside, a much more outside, yes? So this is to the heel position line, because you always measure the proportion to the base of the heel, not to the toes. If you want to add the toes, so normally your foot takes some kind of more space, and you're going to have the toes there, yeah, and the rest of the foot, yeah, or the feet if you do it from the other side as well. Now, you never draw the arms before you finish this: head, torso with the pelvis, legs, and then you can start with the arms. So first, where is the position of the hand? How long is the arm together with the palette of the hand? So we can start actually with the belly button, which is on the approximately the belly button position is less or more on the 3rd head. It's not always there. Most of the time, this is the only part moving in the human form actually is the belly button. Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower. So that you have to really see. But if you do this kind of structure from the canon of the proportion, the figure, so if you put on the 3rd head horizontal line, yes, and if you do kind of, you know, curve line less or more from this point like that, you have approximately half of the head from each side. So somewhere there you're going to find elbow, and the same going to be over there, yeah, you have elbow. So now you know that the upper arm length, yeah, is the same as the forearm to the wrist. So the same is going to be here, yeah, to the wrist. And now, how long is the hand? If you divide the forearm in 1, 2, 3, the 2/3 going to be the palette of the hand. So here you will add the hand, the 2/3 of the forearm. So if you divide here on the 5th head line, you just have to have approximately ideal length here of the arm together with the hand. It shouldn't be longer than 4 heads, which are the half of the body, and 75. So you divide in 4. So on this line, you should have the end of the hand, yes? The end of your hand with the fingers, yes? So now you're going to have the forearm, and the forearm is kind of conical way, and the upper arm is much more kind of parallel lines way of drawing, yeah? So I'm not going to now talk about the details of the eyes and everything, just basic human form, okay? So if you would like to pre-schedule now, there's one difference between female and male, male, proportions. So in male, the arm peaks is actually vertically almost aligned to the hips. In the ladies, the exterior part of the arm is aligned to the hips. Ladies have the pelvis much more larger because the opening in the pelvis is also much more larger, so they can give the birth of the child. Yes, and the best would be to buy yourself this kind of figures, yes, which will kind of lead you to the entire process. And you can see here, if I'm going to turn this kind of with the camera, and you see with the arm and the thigh there, you see a line almost vertically. Yes, this is young lady model. She didn't have a baby yet, so the pelvis is still kind of narrow. After first baby, this pelvis is getting larger. Yeah. So, but even in this lady, you have close to the alignment, vertical alignment of the thighs and the arms. In the male, however, as you can see here, if you go from the arm peak, you have perfect alignment vertical to the thighs and hips. Yeah, approximately. Yeah. So this kind of figures I would suggest you to buy. From one side, you have the kind of, anatomic forms, muscles, and here you have normal body. Yeah, ideally would be if they would do one figure completely like the realistic ones and an entire figure like that. But that, somebody had different idea. The same would be with the ladies. If you would have normal ladies like this and another like this, would be much more nicer to practice for artists than as it is. But anyway, that's only reference. So, when you learn everything about proportions, you're going to be able to use it without any, of course, problem. So let's practice a little bit. As I said, this video is going to be only about frontal proportions. Much more other things you have already in my first video, like history of the proportions and everything, and how the oval is constructed. I have videos already on YouTube like this, so you can go there or purchase my book, and you will have everything detail by detail, drawing by drawing shown there. But anyway, so for example, let's just practice a little bit the frontal proportions now. Yeah. And before we go further, also another thing with the difference between female and male is the base of the breast. In men's is approximately the line of the breast is on the second head. That means that the breast might be like that, like that, like that, and the mammals are approximately on this second line. With the ladies, however, you have 2.5 heads. So in the halfway here, the breast starts, yes, as the line of the breast. So small breast, it's going to take this space, and you have the mammum there. Okay, larger breast, of course, it's going to be lower than 2.5 because the volume going to be larger, yes. And so you're going to have mammum somewhere there. So that's the differences, and I can show you actually here, you see, what I'm talking about is second and 2.5 heads is actually to this point, you see, to this line. When the breast starts, volume of the breast, of course, might be different, and the line might be lower, yes, but you have small, normal breast, kind of, not very large. So actually from this line, the breast goes, as in this lady, on this second and half head. If you take the proportions, this, and go once here and half, you will have this line. So in men's, of course, it's a little bit different. Yes, if you go here, yeah. So you see, if you take the head, is approximately the mamelons line is approximately on the second head. So that's the basic difference in proportion. So now, before to conclude this small part, about the proportions. So let's now sketch kind of briefly, let's say we have some kind of contrapposto position, and so I go. So first of all, we have to establish the angle of the head. Angle of the head you always establish by taking the chin point, the top chin point, and the front point here, align them, and you will see if the face is looking at you vertically or is a little bit that way. or is a little bit that way. And also the same you do from the profile. Yeah, you always check the line if the head is vertical or not from the tip of the chin with the front top here point. This line gives you the angles of the heads. Yes. So so let's say I have the angle of the head approximately like that. So I'm going to go with the ellipse here, yeah, approximately, yes. And I would suggest everybody sketch very gently as I do, yes, at the beginning. And now you have, let's say you have kind of contrapposto curve there, yes. You always look the line in the middle, how the model, is situated. Contrapposto, that means that he is standing on the one leg only. The other is just support. So once you establish the kind of line of the body, now you take this length of the head vertical and you double it 4 times, 2, 3, and 4. And then establish the angle of the pelvis. And that also you always look at what? And the hips, yes, or the waist. When you have contrapposto position, one is lower, one is higher, yeah? So you look at this details there. And let's say we're going to have the angle approximately of that, yes? So now, shoulders, 1/3 vertically, yes? So it's somewhere there. And also I find the arms, of course, angle also by taking the top of the arm here and top of the arm there. If they're like this, they're horizontally. But if the body is a little bit angular, one is going to be lower, one is going to be higher. So you align those angles and you put it here. Now you take the width of the head, and you put from one side and from the other, and follow the curve you made. Yeah, exactly as you made it. Yes, you see. So you have the torso and you put it in half. Now you make the division in half. Another half is going to be for the pelvis. And now here you do the triangle. Yes, triangle. Okay. And you have the half of the body done already. So if you want to go further with the legs, you take it this length to the point, middle point, not the outside lines, middle point. Yes, somewhere there. And you double it. And you're going to have somewhere here the base for the feet. Yes, the line for the heels. So now, before you start drawing the legs, first align vertically, yes, where the inner line of the heels are, the inner one, align it with the head. So as you align it, you're going to find where is the one heel. And you take it, doesn't matter with which you start. Let's say somewhere there. This is going to be, let's say, this leg on which the body is supported itself. So you're going to have approximately this kind of triangular form for the hip, and you can connect it. Yeah. So that's the contrapposto leg on which the entire body is standing. The other leg might be also you take it from the middle of the spine, and you can go, let's say, you know that in the middle somewhere you have the knees. So you can have it kind of profile form of this leg, isn't it? And the heel is going to be somewhere there. From the profile, this leg, frontal is this leg. Yes? It could be angular, whatever. But anyway, for our purpose, today is going to be frontal. One is frontal, one is profile. So now, where is the knee? You know that you have approximately the size of the knee, and you know that 1/3 is down and 2/3 is up. So from this line, one is here and 2/3 is there, and you circumscribe, you have the knee there. And the same, you're going to have less or more there. This knee is depend how it's placed. It's a little bit in 3/4 or profile is going to have approximately on the same line, the knees. But it's going to be kind of 3/4. We're going to about this in different videos. So for now, it's just frontal views of the figure. Yes. So, and you of course connect this with kind of conical forms symbolizing the tides, and another conical form over there going to be for the calves. And we forgot all the ankles. Ankles, of course, you have the 7 head you have here, 7.5 head you're going to have the ankle, and the ankle going to be in the middle of this line. So you have one ankle there, another ankle there. So as you know, this part of the foot is vertically aligned, and this is outside. And the same is going to be, this is the profile, so it's going to be angle here, yes? And now, how long is the foot? The foot is as long as your head is, yes? That's the head, the height, length of the vertical length of your head is your foot. Okay, so you're going to have it somewhere there, yeah? Okay, foot. Now, arms. How long are the arms? Well, listen, you have the belly button there, and now perpendicularly to this line, you see, perpendicularly to the vertical part of this here, this angle, you're going to do approximately take half head, somewhere there, somewhere there. You can actually here use these ones and go kind of, with this kind of curves there, yeah? Okay, approximately. And now, let's say one half of the head you add here, and another half of the head you add here, yeah, and you're going to have what? Somewhere there, you're going to have, of course, one arm. Somewhere there, you're going to have, for example, another arm, yes? But first, of course, you're going to, before you draw the arms, you're going to draw the pallets of the hands. Yet another thing before we go further here. So, you have here like 3 heads, isn't it? Yes, 3 heads, because horizontally you take 3 spaces. So half of the head vertical is the chest, or you can put it horizontally, the same ellipse horizontally here and there, and you're also going to have the arms, exterior part, or you take one head in the middle from the central line and the other, and you're also going to have the thoracic cage side. So that's why in this case, you will know, if you want to know where is the arms, you just add one line and you're going to have somewhere here. You see, and the same going to happen here, yeah? And half of this head, of course, always going to be for the arm, yes, for the arm and for the arm over there. So before we're going to draw the arm, put it somewhere, let's say in contraposition. Sometimes model is putting the head on a little bit on the hip, kind of, yes, tight hip there, yeah. How long is this? Of course, is 2/3, yeah. So normally you would have somewhere there the length of the forearm, and let's do this extended, kind of like suspended straight down. You know that you cannot go farther than 5th head. 5th head going to be approximately somewhere there, isn't it? Yes, somewhere there. So your arm needs to be suspended out. One cannot cross this 5 head. Yes, because you're going to draw monkey, not the human form. So if we go there, so we have somewhere here, we have the elbow. So we go there, another part there. We have somewhere there the forearm, and we have, of course, the form of the hand. Here we're going to have shortenings. So somewhere on this kind of angle there, you're going to have the elbow, and the upper arm is going to be a little bit in shortening, and the forearm is going to be a little bit in shortening, because the hand is from the profile. If you have the chest here, yeah, okay, and the pelvis, the arm is coming from there. This hand normally would be a little bit out like this and a little bit that way, and then you have the hand posed on the hip. So we see you have shortening of the forearm and you have shortening of the upper arm as well. Yes, but you can find it out. If this is suspended arm, you can find it approximately where is the other elbow, and just connect the forms here and there. So if I would like to kind of conclude briefly, so drawing figure would be, for example, well, let's say you draw some kind of figure which is like this and is maybe like a little bit that way. Foreheads, yes, is somewhere there. You have the angle of the pelvis. Let's say 1/3 here. You have the angle of the shoulders with one here and one there. And now let's say you take the entire form down, you have somewhere here, you have the line for it. And let's say one leg is spread and another leg is spread as well. You have the heels there, you have the heels there. You know that in the middle line, you have approximately the knees, but you know that 2/3 is up, 2/3 is up. So you have this, you can put this kind of gentle, tights there. And you find 7.5 head, you're going to have the ankles. Yes. Okay. So you go here, you go there with the calves. Yes. And you extend your foot, of course, because it's a little bit kind of, with the toes much more towards you. Here you have, of course, for the neck. So if you draw the neck is here and go inside here. And there you have half head is for the shoulders, for another shoulder. Of course, here, if you divide this in half, you know that somewhere there you're going to have the thoracic cage already, yes. And the other half, you're going to have the pelvis there, yeah, okay, over there, okay. So, and you add the arms. You have the belly button somewhere there in this case, yeah, you would kind of go this way. And approximately here you have one, you have another, let's say the hands are suspended, you have another the same, you have another the same, and then you have the palette of the hand going one way and maybe another way. Yeah, there the line is going to be parallel, less or more for the upper arms. For the forearms, they're going to be a little bit conical. Yeah, and you have kind of basic shape, of course, on the model. So now you're looking at. So now we can actually go and make it much more, trying to kind of, make it either as the lady there, yeah, or man, is depend with the ear or something, yeah. And you have the neck, you have this, you have that. You can make after now much more, the nuances of the forms of the arms and the palettes with the fingers here and there, yeah, the hands and so on. And the breast, lady as the second half. So somewhere there you have the breast for the lady, yeah, with the mamlus over there, yeah. For the man chest, you're gonna have rather somewhere here and there, yeah, over there. That's the bones, that division of the chest. And now you have, of course, the thoracic cage line, and you have the hips there. You have the thighs there, yeah. Over there, you have the pubic area there, yeah, is the base of the pubic. All this part is the belly, yeah. You have the hips and there, and you go with the thighs, yeah. So now the thighs, you look, of course, for the nuances of the contours, and you have the knees. You learn how to draw the knees in my books. I'm showing this perfectly how to do it, yeah. And the same is here and there, then there, yeah. And you can actually go and practice this kind of figures, using the proportion canon, which I just kind of explained it to you, with 8 heads. Yes. So in this video, we just sketched a little bit something which is frontal to us. Yes. But in the next videos, I'm going to show you sitting poses and laying down poses and so on. So after, of course, you go and you have fun, kind of, it's depending whom you draw and everything, you can kind of go and make it much more, realistic, the forms and everything. So enjoy the kind of, fast sketching of this kind of proportions is very good. So just remember this, you go with the line, take 1/3 there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, somewhere there, this, divided, and then you have the legs, for example, that way and that way. You have the feet. Another, let's say you're running or something, you're going to have another feet over there. Yeah, so just sketch the frontal positions only with this kind of forms. And now, let's say one hand is somewhere there, so just connect them with the arms and so on. Yeah, another is maybe a little bit behind, so we go there and there. This kind of forms, before you start drawing much more elaborated shapes, human form you should sketch. So even if you go for the model session, draw them rather geometric ways that way. Yeah, I'm going to show you in 3D in the next series of videos, but this is only the frontal kind of basic proportions of the human form. So enjoy your practice, and I am looking forward to see you soon with the much more other forms. Okay, we're going to turn the human form different angles and so on. So enjoy and see you next time.